So I've been seeing all this stuff about feminism and how we really need it here in the West, in like the US. I mean, that's where I'm from also. I'll just talk about that. But I always see all these feminist activists talking about like, oh my God, like we need women's rights in the West, in the US. We're oppressed here in the US of A, us women. What? Who is oppressing you? Like literally, who is taking a gun or getting a statesman on their side to oppress you? Who is doing that? And so in my experience, no one does that. At least not people that follow the law of the land we live in. So we're not really in a patriarchy, Patriarchy infers that legally we are a second class. That's not the case. The whole pay gap thing that's been debunked a million times. If you take more vacation time to go and hang out with your girlfriends, you're just not going to make as much money as a guy who doesn't take a vacation to go hang out with his guy friends. I'm not saying that girls shouldn't take vacations or shouldn't, do what they want. I'm just saying if you're going to complain about the pay gap and you're going to complain about being paid the same for the same job, then you need to put in the same amount of work, like get the same amount of work done, and you need to put in the same amount of hours, or else your argument is completely useless. Like, I mean, it would be like looking at a student who got an A and looking at a student who got an F, and you're like, oh, well, why did that student get an A? And they're like, oh, well, that student studied, and that student did all the homework, and that student was prepared for the test. And then you look at the student that got an F, and you're like, well, why did they fail? And it's like, oh, well, that student slept through all of the classes. That student never turned in homework. That student had no idea what the test was even about. So yeah, they flunked. Obviously it's not that severe, but my point is, if you're not putting in the same amount of hours, it doesn't matter if you're being paid the same hourly. You won't get paid as much as a guy who's working more than you. Okay? That's not to say that you shouldn't do what you want. It's, no one's judging you for making less money than a guy, except for, strangely, other feminists. Like, why is that a judgment on my personal life decisions? Like, maybe I don't want to grind away at a job for an ungodly amount of hours just to make that extra bit of money. It's not my priority. Maybe I want to go hang out with my friends. Maybe I'm a mom now and I want to go and see my kids and have a good night with them, have a good weekend with them or something, stuff like that. So I don't understand this whole pay gap problem thing. Yes, it exists, but no, it's not a problem. It's just a choice that free women have made for themselves. I also don't understand why you see so many girls complaining about, oh, there's not enough girls in STEM field. Oh, there's not enough girls in math. Oh, there's not enough girls in, underwater basket weaving. I don't know. And then you ask them, well, what did you go to school for? And they say, oh, well, I went to school for gender studies. Oh, well, I went to school for poli-sci. Oh, well, I went to school for teaching arts and crafts. And you're just like, well, then how can you even know that the reason there aren't as many girls in math and science and STEM fields is because of sexism? How can you know that if you're not even in those fields and you haven't even met any of those people and dealt with them on a day-to-day basis? How can you say that? I mean, I want to go to school for game design. I've completed a little bit of it already, and all the guys there, they were never like, ew, girl shouldn't be in game design. No, they were either very excited or indifferent. They didn't care. Like, most of the time, what a person wants from you when they hire you from a job is for you to do a good job. They don't want to hire you so you feel good. They want you to hire you so they do the job that they pay you for. That's just how jobs work. I mean, like, if I was going to hire somebody and I had applicants and I had like a girl and a guy applicant and, they're both the same age, they both have the same schooling, but the guy just happens to have some work experience on top of his schooling, I'm probably going to choose the guy over the girl purely because he has more work experience, purely because he has that extra little bit of work on top of whatever else that she had that was the same as his. It's not a matter of gender. It's a matter of who's going to do the best for what I pay them. So there's that, like, so the pay gap is just whatever. The other thing I don't understand is why everybody's like, why all these people are starting to say, oh, we need to protect the women's, protect their precious feelings. Oh no, their feelings are getting hurt on the internet from random strangers. Oh, and like, what? Yeah. Did anybody ever tell you that it's the freaking internet? Like, don't feed the trolls. And this whole thing where people think that the internet should be a safe space, like, do you understand what the internet is? Do you understand it's a place where literally everybody in the world can all congregate and talk to each other? Yes, you are going to have some assholes, some actual sexists, some actual misogynist, or not misogynist, what is it? Bigots, some actual racists or something like that. Of course you're going to get that. You're talking to an entire world of people. And also, there are just some people that are assholes because it's funny when you get mad. Did you not know what that... Do you not understand... Have you never had to deal with that, is my question. Like, do people just automatically, like, bow out when you start getting mad and, like, throwing a hissy fit or something? Like, you know, the internet is not a nice place. Why would you ever expect it to be? Why would you not think that you would have to mentally prepare yourself for that? I mean, whatever. Moving on. Why is it okay for a girl to want to forego having a family, which, you know, that's fine. But why is it okay for a businesswoman to do everything she can to get on top? Not talking anything about sexual favors, but just like, you know, not having a family, not spending a lot of time with friends or building just, you know, the passing, or not even passing friendships, but friendships outside of work. If so, that's okay. That's fine. Good. Successful. Very good. And I completely agree. That's fine. That's great. Amazing. Like, you want that money, get that fucking money. But what bothers me is that when you say, oh, well, I want to be a housewife. Oh, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Everybody's like, ew, really? Why? And it's like, because why not? If that's what you want to do, that's your choice. And I'm not, like, if a girl wants to be a housewife or a stay-at-home mom, all the more power to her. She's probably going to have a pretty good, cushy life if the guy can support her and the child like that. But that's not to say that girls shouldn't have their own education, shouldn't be able to make their own money. I mean, that's important too, to have your own independence. I'm really not understanding this whole protect the women's rather than give them the tools to empower themselves, like teaching them self-defense. Teaching them about, like, or encouraging girls to go into math and science. Well, we do that. So if they don't choose to go into math and science, that's not society's fault. That's no one's fault. It's just their preference. You didn't, if you didn't go into math and science, you didn't go into math and science. Like, that was your preference. You shouldn't have to feel like you need to go into math and science for the better of the vagina race. Like, I want to go into math and science because those things are interesting to me. I wanted to go into gaming because I really love games. I love to draw. I love arts. All of that stuff. You know, I love music. Whatever. Just, yeah. So that's my confusion with feminism. It just seems to have completely flipped. It's like now being now being a stay-at-home mom by choice is bad, and you can only be a successful CEO businesswoman. Where did the choice go? You know, and on top of that, the whole conflicting, like, if you want to be successful and on top, why would you ever want to be protected from anything that it just pretty much, why would you want to be protected from thoughts and ideas and words? If you're going to be a successful person, why would you let something silly like that get to you? I don't understand it. Or, I mean, like, yeah, sure, it might get to you for a split second, but why are you going to let it run your life? I've never understood it, and, you know, I've never felt oppressed myself. I've just never felt it. Guys have never treated me poorly because of my sex. In fact, I think I've been treated better than I probably would have as a guy. So, I don't know. Like, the only thing I can think is that they're like, oh, men are so much bigger and stronger, but that's just biology. Yeah, they are, but that's why we make friends and get boyfriends, or, you know, or we ourselves take self-defense classes. Learn to defend yourself. It's always a good skill. There is nothing bad that can come from learning to defend yourself. I just want to put that out there. Okay, so yeah, like, I don't know, tell me what you think. Well, like, why do you think feminism is still needed here rather than anywhere else in the world? Like, why is it needed here, most importantly? Why are we demonstrating here instead of somewhere else? Why are we not demonstrating for girls out in the Middle East who are literally in a society that says if they are raped, it's their fault? Like, that's not here. So please tell me your thoughts. I wanna know. I do want to get the other perspective, because I feel like I'm getting the same stuff from all the other videos that I've been watching about feminism. Like, just like, protect the women's, have your safe space, and I don't get it. Okay, bye.